Need Pokemon Go PvP coaching? Well, I'm on Metafy, so click the link in the video description and it'll take you right to my page. What's up, guys? I got another exciting video today. This time we have the first video in Ultra League Premier Classic. This is an exciting one to have back. Honestly, I didn't like it in the past, but man, after having to deal with Ultra Remix, this feels so much better. Either way, huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Could not be doing this without you guys. But yeah, let's get right into this gameplay video. So, running a team, 3 Pokemon. We have the new Pokemon Trevenant, which is a monster in Ultra League Premier Classic. It's ranked number 1 in PvPoke, and honestly, it plays exactly like it as well. We got Alolan Muck as the swap. Trevenant and Alolan Muck have a great pairing, and same with Obstagoon. Obstagoon is the closer. Trevenant and Obstagoon have a great pairing. Generally, you don't want to pair Trevenant with something fighting weak in Ultra Premier because it would be core broken by Goon. But because my fighting weak Pokemon is Goon, then it's okay because it's no longer core broken by Goon anyways. So we do have a pretty solid team here. It's an ABB team, so if you want to be swapping out of your lead at some point, if you don't swap out of your lead, it's because Trevenant is already locked in on one of the counters for your backline. And even then, if you're able to take out something like Sirfetch'd in the lead, it might be prudent for you to swap anyways to try and get draw out the real counter in the back for your Obstagoon. Anyways, we've got Nidoqueen lead here. This one will play a little bit differently than most leads. Not swapping out right away. We're going to tank a move from the Nidoqueen. One Poison Fang. This Poison Fang doesn't do much, right? It's all about the debuff. So, I'm going to go up to a Shadow Ball. You'll see how much damage a Shadow Ball does. Much more than a Poison Fang. Counting their moves, we're going to throw one more Shadow Claw and swap. Catch that Poison Fang on Muck. I don't usually like catching debuffing moves, especially something like Lunge from Gallade, because it deals a ton of damage either way. But a defense debuff versus an attack debuff is a much different story. And the thing is, you can just debuff back with a Alolan Muck. If they bring their Machamp, look, they're going to have to end up throwing their energy. What I wanted to avoid was a full farm down, because now Trevenant can come in and just farm this Machamp down instead. So we're just getting energy on Trevenant, and we swapped, so we drew up the Machamp in the back, so that Obstagoon doesn't just lose that matchup. So tank the Cross Chop, take down the Machamp. We're going to throw Shadow Ball, whatever comes back in. It's the Nidoqueen. It's unfortunate, right? But Obstagoon can't counter this Pokemon down anyways before it's going to get to a Poison Fang. And in the back is Trevenant. And this matchup is very dominating for Obstagoon. It's got 2 shots with Night Slash and Trevenant 3 shots with Seed Bomb. So there's no real way Trevenant can win this. As we'll talk about, there's 2 lucky Pokemon on this team. We got Trevenant, we got Alolan Muck. So if you're running 2 lucky Pokemon with Obstagoon, I mean, doing it for the boost at that point. So, just kidding. I don't want to spread misinformation, but yeah, while this battle is dragging, this trainer does not want to quit out of here. One guaranteed way to make the trainer quit out is to make a great play. So we're gonna just catch a Seed Bomb instead on Trevenant, and just get those style points, and the opponent will cower in. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, they realize this game is over, but yeah. I mean, I make the catch only because I was a little bit bored at that point, just throwing Night Slashes at 5 and then shielding Seed Bombs at 5. Like, it wasn't very thrilling. Trevenant, we're going to swap out right away into Alolan Muck. Going to watch for the catch here. And they go way over and then catch somehow still. I'm going to throw the Dark Pulse at Alolan Muck. This is honestly fine. This Trevenant has a lot of energy, but the goal here is to flip switch. So get my Obstagoon on that Trevenant and just hope that they don't have an Obstagoon in the back. So throw 1 Acid Spray in the Alolan Muck switch in. I think it's better to throw 1 Acid Spray and then go for Dark Pulses. So that's what I usually have been doing. Yeah, so you can deal quite a bit of damage there, and you're going to be able to take down that Alolan Muck with a nice farm down. With whatever comes back in, you're going to be able to deal some decent damage to it. Not going to Acid Spray this time, right? Because they're just going to switch out. So I'm gonna hit them with a big Dark Pulse, start getting that shield advantage in. I'm gonna come in with Trevenant, just deal some damage. Like, I know I just need some damage. I don't need a Shadow Ball. I just need a Seed Bomb, like any damage to go off on this Goodra, so that my Obstagoon can counter down. We're gonna no shield whatever this is. And it's a Draco Meteor. Did not expect that. I thought it was Power Whip or Muddy Water. Either way, I'm gonna swap into Goon, as I have no other choice. But because I threw that Seed Bomb instead of Shadow Ball, which is not a play most players would make, I've put myself in a position to actually win this game. And like I said, with 2 lucky Pokemon, on your team get the boost. So we're gonna no shield Obstagoon here. Shield once, but it looks like I'll be able to counter this Trevenant down. And then with the boost, be a pretty comfortable matchup here versus Goodra. I think I would have won without the boost anyways. I would have shielded another Seed Bomb from Trevenant and then had double Night Slash for Goodra. And Goodra was energy dry from that Draco Meteor. So it would have still been a win, but I would have had to work a little bit harder for it. As much as I meme about the boost, it was not necessary this game. Alright, Empoleon lead. This is very good for Trevenant. So they swap out into Venusaur. Honestly, I could have just stayed in because Goon has a great matchup versus Empoleon. And I could have just kept Trevenant with its good matchup against Venusaur. Instead, we're going to go in with Alolan Muck and charge up quite a bit. Tank another Frenzy Plant. It's fine. You can tank bunches of Frenzy Plants on Alolan Muck. If you swap fast enough, I'm going to go with this Dark Pulse. And you can just farm them down. So you end this matchup with a ton of energy. It's really nice to have. You don't have that much health, which is great because you can't get farmed down. Unfortunately, they come in with Alolan Muck of their own. So we're going to throw an Acid Spray here. And then a Dark Pulse. And the problem now is Obstagoon needs to go into this Alolan Muck. And Trevenant cannot go into this Alolan Muck. So Trevenant needs to be on Empoleon. That makes the matchup a little bit more sketchy, I guess. But as long as this Muck can't really deal with Goon, we can go back into Trevenant, throw the Shadow Ball. Just, you outpace them, because it's 7 to every Shadow Ball, and it takes a little bit longer to get to 5 3-turn moves than it does to get to 7 2-turn moves. And you can tank a Drill Peck. So I tank a Drill Peck here because I wanted to see how much damage it does, because I was interested, and I know I have Obstagoon to take down Empoleon anyways, so it's not a big deal. So I was interested to see if I would be able to win this match or tank a Drill Peck and still get to next move. So you do. So Trevenant has an extremely dominant matchup versus Empoleon. You win the 0v1 shield, which is a pretty good thing to know. And my Trevenant does not have very good IVs. So one with better IVs would probably be able to more comfortably tank that move as well. And you'll have a little bit of extra leeway there. Either way, we're going to pull out full wins, 4 wins on the set. First set I ever played with this team was a 5-0 actually. But fortunately it was followed by 2 negative sets, so I had to remove all of them. I can show you guys. The sets were barely negative as well. And either way, we're back up to 30-88 here. This is very high rating. Like every player I'm playing against is very good. We have a Dragonite lead. We're going to swap right away into Alolan Muck. And we're going to wait for them to throw a Hydro Cannon because I know I live. And with Alolan Muck against Empoleon switching, if you throw your moves with the correct timing, you can actually win the 0 shield. So we're going to throw a Dark Pulse there and throw another Dark Pulse here. And win this way. The other way you can do it is instead throw Acid Spray first, but that's a little bit more unreliable because they shield the second one and they're just at full HP. And that's a lot harder to deal with. Either way, Dragonite comes back in. Gotta make a tough decision here. I come in with Goon because I think this is the more solid Dragonite answer than Trevenant, especially Shadow Dragonite. You can act like this Night Slash actually really hurts. In this case, could be something else, but it's just going to be a Dragon Claw. I'm going to swap right away to my Trevenant to get this farm down. It's tough, but I decide to no shield this Dragon Claw as well, and it ends up being the correct play. We've got Escav in the back. So because it's Escav in the back, only their charge moves are going to deal any damage. Drill Run is resisted, but it's probably going to be enough at this point, to be honest. I realize I need to bait at least once to win this game, and yeah, it doesn't work. So instead, we're going to go full Seed Bomb. If you fail once, we're going to go full Seed Bomb, and just hope that there's enough juice left in this Trevenant tank to take down the Escav. They actually don't shield that one, and because I've messed up, I know I need to go for the catch, so we're going to swap in Goon so that Trevenant can continue to farm down. I'm going to take down the Dragon, but not quite going to take down the Escav, so bit of a misplay there by me. Or I mean, it's not a misplay. My bait got called. It is what it is. Baits are 50-50 at the end of the day. But like I said, with a little bit better IVs on my Trevenant, that's going to be a win. With a little bit better IVs on my Muck or my Goon, that's also a win. In this case, we have Gallade as a swap in to Alolan Muck. I'm going to throw the Dark Pulse once I get to 2. They're probably charging up to 2 close combats. I decide to no shield that one and then go for the next move here. And I decided to try and fight for switch, see what they want to do. Probably should have shielded the first one, but it was equally likely that they were baiting that way. So I'm going to throw the Dark Pulse, take this 2 shields to 1, and come in with either of these Pokemon. I'm going to go in Trevenant just in case they are at a Leaf Blade, it'll deal less damage. In comes Charizard, but guess what? With shields down, this matchup's no longer so bad. We're just going to hit them with a big Shadow Ball. Swap to Goon, catch a move. And I let this go because it's likely whatever they have in the back is weak to Trevenant, and it's a Machamp. So just as predicted, weak to Trevenant, that's why they brought back in Charizard, and we're going to save the shields for Trevenant. This is still going to be a very close game. It's all a bait game here, so I no shield the first one. The Rock Slide was actually their move. I know they're going to get to the cross chop at the same time as me, so once again, I lose the 50-50. And because my Trevenant's IVs aren't very good, I lose by 1 HP again. So every single game I'm losing here are very, very close games. They're IV dependent losses. So this team is giving me a chance to win every single one of these. And that's what I appreciate about it. If you have some better IVs, maybe it'll work better for you. In this case, we have Gallade versus Trevenant. I'm just going to get a huge farm here. So they throw their Leaf Blade at 4. They can't throw close combat, right? And I swap to catch the Leaf Blade. My Trevenant's absolutely loaded though, and this Gallade is kind of in farm down range for either of these Pokemon. So they swap into Skarmory. Yeah, this is in Ultra Premier Classic, so this is a 2100 Skarmory. So even though it's resisting these poison jabs, these Dark Pulses are absolutely just chunking it. We get to another Dark Pulse even, and they're either going to need to shield or they're going to be in farm down range for pretty much anything, even my Muck at this point. So I'm probably not going to shield this. Yeah, no reason to save the Muck. Muck lives anyways somehow, but they likely have another move. So I'm going to come in with, I think, Goon. Oh no, Trevenant. Oh yeah, come with Trevenant to throw the Seed Bomb to force them to shield or lose their energy. That's a pretty good use of energy right there. In comes Gallade, and I swap to transfer the confusion damage to Obstagoon, and in comes Machamp. This was what I was scared of being in the back, but I do have a lot of energy, and I'm able to burn a shield with Obstagoon. So hopefully Trevenant this time can not get countered down by Machamp. And yeah, we're at 2 Seed Bombs already, so 1 Seed Bomb here. Not going to be enough because of the shield, but the second Seed Bomb surely will be enough against the Shadow Machamp. Not quite, but the resultant Shadow Claw will be enough to take it down. Next game. So this is a 2-2 set right now. We're able to salvage that. It's very close to being a 4-0 set. But, you know, sometimes luck just isn't on your side. We got Charizard lead. Going to swap out into Alolan Muck. And in comes Gengar. That's not the switch. I think a lot of teams just aren't prepared for Alolan Muck right now. They clearly wanted to keep their Charizard for Trevenant. So Alolan Muck versus Gengar. Pretty good matchup here. I'm going to... Yeah, these Shadow Balls do hurt a lot. But I'm just going to throw these Dark Pulses. At this point, do they want to go 2 shields down? And I know if they go 2 shields down, my Trevenant can take out that Charizard with a shield. So it's not that big of a deal. I get a Poison Jab through, and you know what? I decide to actually fight for switch. I'm going to shield. They go Shadow Ball again. So I'm wondering if they're running double nuke Gengar or something like that. I'm going to go for this Dark Pulse, win switch with a shield up, and in comes Venusaur. So at this point in time, it's a pretty easy choice to bring back in Trevenant. Don't even need to shield here. Sludge Bomb is not resisted, but not as strong a move as Frenzy. Only does about half. Gonna swap as soon as Charizard comes in. I think I'm gonna no shield this. Even if it's a Blast Burn, it does not KO. Charizard's gonna need some additional damage here, and Goon should be able to outpace the next move. And like I said, lucky team, we get the boost, but this boost once again does not matter whatsoever. Goon is gonna be able to take down Charizard anyways, and then deal some nice damage to Venusaur, and they're just going to leave. I have a Shadow Ball stored on Trevenant already, so the game is likely over. Once again, the boost unfortunately doesn't end up mattering. Oh wait, I wasn't 2-2. I was 1-2. That could have this could have easily been a 4-0 so far. Alright, Machamp lead. Great lead. We're finally catching one. In comes Gliscor. This one was a bit tough. I wasn't really sure what to do, so I farmed up a little bit and tried to catch a Night Slash. But my opponent was very good at being patient, and now can just throw the Earthquake at Goon. So 2 Earthquakes is going to be able to take out Goon. it's in a bit of a rough position. So this is why you don't want to swap out too late into the counters, because if you do, they get a huge advantage on your Pokemon. And they got shield here, and I know I can't realistically win switchback, so I'm gonna no shield a Night Slash, which is gonna allow me to get to another move if they didn't boost. So this boost actually making a difference so far for them. And I decide to stay or keep my Trevenant safe for now. Hopefully they swapped in their best counter. I know they have a Machamp, so yeah, I'm gonna no shield this. And apparently they're actually an Earthquake, so a Muck down, and it's Trevenant versus the world. Gonna get a good farm down here on the Gliscor. Depends what's in the back. Farm up a little bit on this Machamp as well. I'm not just gonna throw my energy right away, there's no point, but we're gonna go for the Shadow Ball. There's no way they shield. And then in comes Caesar. Gonna go for the big Shadow Ball here. No, it's the big bait, because this is my only win condition. They decide to shield it, and the baits have bit me in the past, but this time the bait bites them. And we're gonna land that Shadow Ball and able to take down this Machamp as well. So Trevenant has 2 shields remaining. You're just able to take down the rest of the... This Pokemon is just an absolute monster. It's so good. It's so good. It's especially in Ultra Premier Classic, where all the other XL Pokemon are gone. Trevenant being able to come in under level 40 is honestly insane. I feel like this is by far the best Pokemon in this meta, and it's why you really just see Trevenant and Trevenant counters. So we've Sirfetch'd lead. They're staying in. So this is a bit tricky. I go for the move sneak so I can outpace them. I'm gonna no shield the first one in case they get the boost, and that deals a lot of damage. They get their counter back, unfortunately, so I'm not gonna be able to outpace them anymore, but they let that move through. Gonna swap and catch either a Night Slash or Leaf Blade. Alolan Muck resists both, and at this point the Sirfetch'd is low enough that the Obstagoon should be able to take it down. So you can see I'm swapping out of this lead, right? I have to swap out of that lead just in case they have another counter in the back. But instead, it wasn't another counter user. It was a Swampert that they were scared of lining up against the Trevenant. So in this case, going to be able to get to this Acid Spray to maybe take out or force the Swampert shield. But they don't shield. They know their Swampert's kind of useless. I don't want to come in with Trevenant, but I have to. And just going to shield this Earthquake. Yeah, they went for the big move because they're only going to be able to get to 1. Magnezone comes in, going to charge up a little bit on Trevenant to that Shadow Ball, and then come in with Goon. Going to throw the Night Slash. CMP tie. That wasn't on purpose. I just was feeling like they were low enough that at this point in Night Slash guarantees I can take them down. But we're going to CMP tie their Wild Charge, see if they want to shield it. And once again, CMP another Wild Charge. But I really don't care about shielding my Goon at this point, because Trevenant will be able to farm down. This is actually just free energy for Trevenant. And this low HP Trevenant has to be able to take out the Pokemon in the back. I didn't actually have to throw this Seed Bomb because that Sirfetch'd was dry, but they shield, so I'll throw another one. Doesn't really matter too much. Their remaining Pokemon only has 1 HP. No point not to throw there. I could have saved it and been better, but the counter damage was the most I was going to take. Their Swampert can't store an Earthquake and a Hydro, I don't think. Unless I'm wrong about that. Maybe they can. Anyways, Muck. This lead is not as good as I thought. I think in hindsight I'll switch out faster next time into Alolan Muck, but I did want to get some damage off because Obstagoon doesn't have the best answer here. And now we have a Swampert into Alolan Muck again. Swampert honestly hasn't been as common as I thought, probably because of Trevenant. And Alolan Muck gonna tank these Hydros like a boss. Gonna get to throw out a Dark Pulse here and hopefully make it to another one, or pressure them to throw their energy. So they don't have too much more energy than a Hydro Cannon. They're going to be able to go back in with the Trevenant, get some farm. You have to worry a bit about a Sludge Wave, but Hydro Cannon is not, I mean, it does a decent amount of damage, honestly. So I'm going to have to throw Seed Bomb before the next one. Got a little bit of farm out of that matchup, so it's not too bad. And then in comes Muck. This is a tough decision. Thunder Punch, I should have no shielded. I was thinking about no shielding it too and just leaving it all for Goon, but now I'm going to have to double shield if I want to get to a Shadow Ball. And now instead Goon will have to play the 0 shield. So this is uncharacteristic on how I would normally play this. As you can see, it's not a great matchup for me unless Goon absolutely dominates whatever's in the back, and I'm kind of just hoping. But yeah, this Muck is going to be able to deal a lot of damage before my Goon is able to even see what is back there. And it's, I don't know. It's likely something my Goon isn't that great against. Yeah, it's Dragonite, so they come with Dragonite. And there's no reason to stay in this game. I am just out of there. Yeah, Dragonite's seeing a bit of a resurgence too. Just a flying dragon Pokemon. Pretty good against Trevenant too. A fast move pressure. Goodra lead, so I'm going to stay in for a little bit here, I think. Before swapping out. Want to grab this Shadow Ball. I know it's only got Power Whip and Muddy Water usually, although I did get Draco that one time, so I'm going to swap to Alolan Muck to catch either of those things. In comes Typhlosion, and it's Shadow Claw Typhlosion. That's a bit of a weird one. Shadow Claw Typhlosion, not that it's weird, but it's weird that they swapped into Alolan Muck because I'm resisting those Shadow Claws. In this case, I count incorrectly, but we're going to shield the Blast Burn. Anyways, Blast Burn's a pretty big deal. I thought I could farm down, but I couldn't quite get there, so I'm going to have to 2-shield Alolan Muck here. I've got a ton of energy on it, and winning switch is not the biggest deal, but it's nice. In this case, they come in Muddy Water, so as soon as they Muddy Water, I'm like, okay, it's Muddy Water, Power Whip. I'm not shielding anything, and I'm in a great position here because I'm looking to debuff their last Pokemon with an inability to switch. So it doesn't really matter what it is at this point. If it's double debuffed, or sorry, quadruple debuffed, there's not much I can do against the Trevenant and Obstagoon pair. We're going to go with Trevenant. Let's get these Shadow Claws rolling, and I'm going to throw Seed Bomb, because this Seed Bomb will do an insane amount of damage if they let it through, which they won't. But I actually can't believe they didn't shield a single one of my Alolan Muck's moves either. I guess they knew the value in going for that Acid Spray over Dark Pulse in this situation. And then even though these counters are resisted, it looks like Obstagoon is going to be able to counter this Antomuck down. No problem. Yeah, and they realize it, so they graciously end the match. This next battle, ooh, Shadow Ghost. I don't know what we're running here. It's Tree Ghost. We have Swampert lead, so this is fantastic. In comes Sylveon. So this is kind of scary. At this point, I'm thinking, is this double charm? I'm going to throw one Acid Spray so that I can just Poison Jab down without having to shield. I'm not sure if they didn't get to a move or if they're trying to get to the Moon Blast, which makes sense because I'm not going to shield a Psyshock. And then Swampert comes back in, obviously. Gonna throw Dark Pulse here. Yeah, at this point I realize I think it could be double charm. And I'm gonna get to this Dark Pulse again. They actually let me get here and force a shield, and that's very important because Trevenant doesn't beat these Charmers in the 2-shield. But if they only have 1 shield, it's definitely possible. I come in with the Trevenant and they come in with Togekiss right away. And I'm just gonna throw Shadow Ball. You're gonna get to 2 Shadow Balls versus Togekiss. Shadow Ball is not enough to KO. I have to shield Trevenant, that's fine. Shadow Ball is not enough to KO, but they get a Charm through, unfortunately. I'm going to have to swap to Goon anyways. After I take the damage on Trevenant, but then I transfer the damage to Goon as well on the next Charm. So that was the worst of both worlds. Swampert's going to come in. Going to get to another Hydro Cannon here. But I've added Night Slash, and I think I would survive one more Hydro Cannon as well on Goon. So this game is over. Somehow this team managed to beat Double Charm, despite a very glaring weakness to Charm. I believe that's one of the big core breakers here between Trevenant and Goon. Is a 2-shield Charmer just going to run through the team. Oh, this last game versus Butters, fantastic battler. I get very upset at the end. I play this on stream. The way this game goes, I can talk a little bit about how or why I'm upset. He swaps late, tries to go for the catch, and once again I'm going to do my play of 1 Acid Spray into a Dark Pulse, and he's a Snarl Muck, so he likely doesn't have Acid Spray, and then the second Dark Pulse will be enough to take him out if he decides not to shield. And not a lot of people shielding in the Alolan Muck versus Alolan Muck matchup. Yeah, they go for the Sludge Wave. I can go for the Dark Pulse. I'm going to be able to win back switch here, which is nice, but I don't really have a great matchup versus this Gyarados. So being able to deal some damage here is good. I'm going to come in with Obstagoon, I think, to clean up some of this energy. And just tank the moves. Yeah, get my move sneak in there instead of going for the CMP tie. And then I swap into Trevenant, and in comes Shadow Claw Typhlosion. So this game is pretty tough, but there is a win condition here. I'm going to shield up my Trevenant. Obviously, I outpace. It's looking like my Shadow Claws are dealing quite a bit of damage, so I don't mind going for the bait here with the Seed Bomb. I'm going to shield once more. I probably should have thrown my energy before him, because it's much less likely he's going to shield. But either way, I'm going to go for the Seed Bomb here. And then I should be able to take out with a Shadow Ball. And unfortunately, the game doesn't register my charge move, so I'm a bit lower than I expected. And then all I need to do here is swap and throw my move, but the game doesn't register that until he has his full Dragon Tail off, and I'm KO'd by this Dragon Tail. So this would have been a very easy win if the game had just registered my switch. But even though I'm clicking my buttons, clicking the switch button, clicking the charge move buttons, it doesn't register, and you can see I'm pausing on this and just raging about it. But yeah, it would be nice if the game worked consistently for once. One day, maybe it's too much to ask for. Maybe this rage is healthy. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it was a very long time I stared at this screen. But yeah, either way, this was one of the few losses of this set. I think it was one of 3 or 1 of 2 losses, so could have been a 4-1. Set before could have been a 5-0. There's a lot of could-haves with this team, and we're gonna climb back into the 3100s. It's a very solid team. I think you guys will like it, and it's very accessible. 2 of them have been kind of like available in 7k eggs for a while. Trevenant is currently spawning. You don't need a elite TM or community day move or anything like that, so just play the team. Good. And thanks for watching.